commissioning of the project. The House of Representatives Joint Committee on Army and Defense has screened President Muhammadu Buhari's nominee for the position of Chief of Army Staff, Major General Farouk Yahaya. The screening took place on Tuesday behind closed doors. Prior to the event, Major General Farouk Yahaya, in his introductory remarks, stated that contrary to public perception, there has been synergy among security agencies to tackle insurgency, especially since the emergence of the new service chiefs. President Buhari appointed Yahaya as the new Chief of Army Staff on the 27th of May. Prior to his appointment, Major General Yahaya was a general officer commanding one division of the Nigerian Army and the incumbent theater commander of the counter-terrorism, counter-insurgency military outfit in the Northeast, codenamed Operation Hadin Kai. The appointment came days after the immediate past Army Chief, Lieutenant General Ibrahim Atahiru, died in an air crash in Kaduna along with 10 other military officials. The federal government on Tuesday said it is expecting a shipment of 3.92 million doses of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine by the end of July or early August. The Executive Director, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Faisal Shuaib, disclosed this at a press conference in Abuja. Shuaib also disclosed that recent research from Public Health England had revealed that the Indian variant of the virus, also known as the Delta variant B16172, is 92% susceptible to Oxford AstraZeneca. The Edo State government has opened more temporary fixed posts in the metropolis in addition to the already existing fixed and mobile centers across the state to ensure that every eligible person for the second dose vaccination is inoculated against the virus. The state's COVID-19 incident manager, Dr. Andrew Obi, who disclosed this to journalists in Benin City, said the action is part of efforts by the Edo State government to contain the pandemic and ensure the safety of citizens. The incident manager said the posts are sited within the Benin Airport, Government House, Police Clinic, State Secretariat, Edo State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, 4 Mechanized Brigade, and the Office of the Department of State Security. Dr. Obi reiterated the need for residents to continue to comply with preventive protocols against the spread of the virus, noting that Edo is recording remarkable success in the management of the pandemic. Egwavoin community, situated in Ovia Northeast local government area of Edo State, on Tuesday took possession of a land measuring 295.042 hectares following a judgment which was delivered by an Edo State High Court, Benin City, on the 13th of March 2009. KUFM's Lebeduma Sawaram reports that the warrant of possession of the land for the community against a Kosode community was delivered on the 1st of June 2021.
Speaking during the possession of Egwavoin community land, the community secretary, Monde Obasoge, said the Kosode community had appealed the judgment of the Edo State High Court, but the matter was struck out as it lacks merit. He noted that those who have built on the Egwavoin community will be considered as an encroachment.
The red tape is a response to the judgment that was delivered in favor of Egwavoin community by a competent High Court in Benin in 2009. Kosode went to an appeal. The appeal was struck out. We now apply for warrant of possession. The court have granted that warrant of possession, and they've come to seal up the community. They've come to seal the community. Egwavoin have got victory. Egwavoin is now in possession of the land in question. Those houses were encroached on the land, and in the first instance when the case started, there was an injunction restraining both parties not to sell, to trespass, or do anything in the land until the termination of the substantive suit. Unfortunately, the Kosode went and they started selling. So the court have given us judgment. So everything in the land belongs to a community.
The court bailiff was in the community on Tuesday morning during the takeover to execute warrant of possession.
My name is John Oshano, the chief bailiff. We came in compliance with judgment of court between the Kosode and Egwavoin community in favor of Egwavoin community. So we have taken possession according to court order.
Counsel to the claimant, Barrister Olayiwola Afolabi, explained that the need for a warrant of possession comes handy when a claimant gets a judgment and the defendant refuses to obey.
And that's what we did. Judgment was given in favor of Egwavoin community. 209. The other people refused to obey. Yet they were even selling, they were bidding. And we applied to the courts for warrant of possession. This is the warrant of possession. And the court granted the order. And that's why today officials of the High Court, in line with the order of the court, went there and took possession. So whoever wants to buy land, you bought nothing, because the law is clear. A party must obey the order of court. Other will do. So the properties now is now in effective possession of Egwavon community.
The High Court, Benin Judicial Division, holding at Benin City on 13th day of March 2009, said Egwavon community was entitled to land measuring 295.042 hectares against Ekosodi community. Lemedum Asagwaram, KUFM News.
Judicial activities resumed in courts across Lagos State on Tuesday following the suspension of an 8-week nationwide strike by the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria, JUSUN. JUSUN embarked on the strike on the 6th of April to press home its demand for judicial autonomy and financial independence, but called it off on June the 9th. The Court of Appeal in Lagos Island led the way in Lagos State, hearing 9 matters including suits by former NBA President Olisa Obakuba, SAN, against the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Lagos State Governor against Senior Advocate of Nigeria Ebun Olu Adegborua. Activities were low-key at the Federal High Court in Ikoyi with only 1 judge sitting. However, courts in Enugu State have also resumed sessions after a nearly 3-month strike. It was observed that the Enugu State Judiciary Headquarters Complex at Independence Layout, Enugu, was a beehive of activities with long queues of persons waiting to get one document or another. Most judges were staying in the court premises as their chambers and courtrooms were being cleaned. In Delta State, preparatory activities for court proceedings had begun at the federal and state high courts sitting in Warri South Council area of the state. Although the judges did not sit, lawyers flocked to various courts to file cases and also get new dates for cases that came up during the over 2-month-old strike. And now to some political news. The National Executive Committee of the All Progressives Grand Alliance on Tuesday in Abuja announced the sacking of chairman of the party, Victor Oye, and appointed Chief Jude Okeke as acting national chairman. Briefing journalists after the party's 114th NEC meeting in Abuja, the National Publicity Secretary of the party, Ikechukwu Chinyere, said 6 other members of the party were also sacked. He listed other sacked party chiefs to include Chinedu Obidigwe, Haman Gide, Sylvester Eze Okenwa, Adamu Musa, Chief Okobo, and Ifeanyi Mberi. The party's image maker said the ABGA chiefs have been suspended indefinitely from the party for anti-party activities, gross misconduct, and acts capable of bringing the party's image to disrepute, among others. He added that the party's NEC also resolved to nullify the disqualification of 5 aspirants for the governorship election in Anambra State. The aspirants were disqualified by the Victor Oye-led faction. Students of the Rivers State College of Health Sciences and Technology on Tuesday blocked the Mile 4 axis of the Ikwere Road in Port Harcourt in protest against poor basic amenities in the institution. The protest caused a heavy gridlock around the area, forcing motorists to use alternative routes. The students are demanding for the provision of water and electricity in their hostels by the institution's management. Some of the leaders of the protest also decried non-accreditation of some courses offered in the institution, leaving them jobless after graduation. The students threatened to continue the protest until their demands are met. Coming up in a moment on our business news, inflation drops to 17.93%. Details in a moment after this short break. Stay with us, please.
1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 600 billion, and the last kobo. Oh yes, we follow the money. It's all about the business and the business of business. The gains and the losses. The bulls and bears. The rise and falls. The risk and the satisfaction of seeing the last kobo rise to millions. On KUFM's Business News, the simple and complex jargons of business just make sense. Get the trending news on the morning market, forecast, investment opportunities, policy changes, and other breakout information on the ever-busy world of business. KU Business News, Monday to Friday on our news dawn, 6:30 to 7 a.m.
Welcome back. You're still on to News Dawn on 92.7 KUFM Benin City, and on business. Nigeria's headline inflation dropped for the second consecutive month in May, but the prices of food have continued to surge. Latest data published by the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, on Tuesday indicates that the Consumer Price Index, or CPI, which measures inflation, increased by 17.93% year-on-year in the fifth month of the year 2021. While this is 0.19 percentage points lower than the 18.12% recorded in April, increases were recorded in all classification of individual consumption by purpose divisions that yielded the headline index. On a month-on-month basis, the headline index increased by 1.01% in May, representing higher percentage points of 0.04 than the rates recorded in the previous month of 0.97%. According to the report, the corresponding 12-month year-on-year average percentage change for the urban index is 16.09% in May, higher than the 15.63% reported in April, while the corresponding rural inflation rate in May is 14.94% compared to the 14.48% recorded in the previous month. The composite food index, on the other hand, rose by 22.28% in May as against the 22.72% reported in April. This rise in the food index, the NBS explained, was as a result of increases in prices of bread, cereals, milk, cheese, eggs, fish, soft drinks, coffee, tea and cocoa, fruits, meats, oil and fats, and vegetables. It disclosed that the food sub-index increased by 1.05% in May from the 0.99% recorded in April on a month-on-month basis. And finally, on business, the World Bank says Nigeria's inflation rate is expected to rise to fifth highest in sub-Saharan Africa by the end of 2021, behind only Zimbabwe, Zambia, South Sudan, and Angola. The bank's lead economist for Nigeria, Marco Hernandez, stated this on Tuesday during a presentation of Nigeria's development report for the first 6 months of 2021 in Abuja. Hernandez also said that the inflation is set to push 7 million more Nigerians into poverty due to falling purchasing power, while over 11 million more Nigerians are expected to lose their jobs. According to him, insecurity and conflict as well as the COVID-19 pandemic are responsible for the challenges. And that's it on business. And in sports now, Nigeria Super Falcons aim to end 22-year winless run against the USA. Chijindu Itoro has more in our sports bulletin this morning.
Thank you, Charles. Welcome to Sports News. The Nigeria Super Falcons face a daunting task, ending their 5-game winless run against U.S. Women's National Team in the early hours of Thursday at this year's Summer Series, a four-nation tournament in the U.S. Randy Wardrum girls have failed to win any of their last 5 encounters against the Americans in 22 years. The 9-time African champions haven't been on the losing side in 4 Women's World Cup confrontations in 1999, 2003, 2007, and 2015, and once at the Olympics in 2000. They managed a paltry 2 goals, conceding 17 goals in those encounters, with their highest defeat to the Americans, a 7-1 humiliation at the 1999 Women's World Cup in the U.S. Wardrum's side have not won their last 2 games at the Summer Series against Jamaica and Portugal. The African champions lost 1-0 to Jamaica last Friday and held Portugal to a 3-3 draw on Sunday. Speaking ahead of the game built for the QT Stadium, Austin, Texas, Wardrum warned that his team must be cautious to avoid another defeat. The Falcons are ranked 38th, while USA are number 1 in the global rankings. Portugal's Cristiano Ronaldo made history at Euro 2020 on Tuesday when he scored his 10th and 11th goals in a record 5th tournament appearance, making him the leading men's scorer in the championship's history. The Portugal captain overtook France's great Michel Platini with his goal against Hungary at the Puskas Stadium in Budapest when he converted a penalty kick in the 85th minute in their 3-0 win over Hungary. The Juventus striker took his tally to 106 goals in 176 appearances for Portugal, 30 fewer than Iranian Ali Day's all-time men's record of 109 international goals. Ronaldo is the only man to score in 5 European Championship tournaments, extending his own record. And that is it from our sports desk. Thanks for listening, and I'll hand you back to Charles Oporum for a wrap-up of the news.
Thank you very much, Jindu, for those sports stories. And of course, with those stories, we come to the end of our package this morning. But before we leave, a quick recap of the headlines. President Buhari has charged stakeholders on timely completion of the NLNG Train 7 project. Courts have reopened fully in Lagos, Enugu, and others after a 2-month JUSUN strike. And ABGA have sacked their chairman and 6 others. KUFM News Dawn was produced by Nosakai Wadiai. I am Charles Operum saying thanks for listening and good morning.
92.7 KUFM News. Concise, precise, balanced, unbiased.
We are live from Benin City to the world. This is 92.7 KUFM News Dawn.
KUFM 92.7. Turn on excitement.
What do you want be when you grow up?
Na teacher, na pilot, astronaut.
Our pickings them get better dreams. But if better nutrients, where we they call iron no day for their food, if it make them brain no sharp well low, 1 sachet of Cerelac Junior go summer their body with half of the iron where them need every day. Make them for they do well for school, plus do well for life.
Na musician, na doctor.
Cerelac Junior with Iron Plus.
Ah, mommy, now you try pass.
Wake up every day, feeling so down, need motivation.